You're very welcome back to the Daily Rundown with me, Fiona Fox. Now, vigils are being held across the country as people stand in solidarity with the world's LGBT community following the shootings in Florida at the weekend. Our reporter Katie Moffat brings you this report.
Manchester stood in solidarity with the rest of the world's LGBT community to condemn all acts of terror and violence following the mass shooting in Orlando on Sunday. Hundreds of people formed a human chain around Manchester's gay village to remember the 49 victims.
It felt carnal. It felt like I just needed to be here. I think having just seen the handheld circle of the village, it felt historical. It felt very historical, and I think it's a very poignant, fitting tribute to an absolutely horrific genocide.
Canal Street came to a standstill as the LGBT community lined the streets and held hands to create a circle around the entire village. Amongst those taking part in the massed handhold was Manchester's first ever openly gay Lord Mayor, who helped plan the vigil.
Last night I went to bed thinking, how is it going to work when there's so many different groups of people trying to orchestrate something. So this morning a few of us got together with the LGBT Foundation, the Police and Crime Commissioner, Manchester Pride and the City Council to look at how we can try and unite something together and be able to provide something that people felt that it was tangible. That, in my opinion, I just felt we needed to try and bond it together and unite. And thankfully, everything has come together perfectly.
Speakers from the LGBT Foundation and community expressed their thoughts. The city's Book of Condolences, which will be open at the Town Hall for the next 2 weeks, was placed in Sackville Gardens for the evening. Councillors and representatives from the city's Muslim community also hosted a civil event by the Beacon of Hope.
I hope that this event gives a platform to queer people of colour, queer and trans people of colour in particular to speak, because the violence that happened was to the 50 Black, Latinx, queer and trans people of colour. And I think if we're not giving them that space, then I think we're missing a big conversation.
The crowd fell completely silent as a lone singer gave a rendition of Amazing Grace. Manchester's lesbian and gay chorus also performed throughout the candlelit vigil. The ceremony ended with a poignant minute's silence to honour those who lost their lives.
Manchester community, LGBT community and family and friends have reacted really strongly. Obviously, it was absolutely horrific events in Orlando. We send our love, we send our respect and our friendship to LGBT people in Orlando and their friends and families as well. And in Manchester, we have a really strong and vibrant LGBT community in Manchester, and we want to make sure that we do all we can to make sure that this is about love, not hate.
Katie Moffat, Daily Rundown.
Now, I've been joined by writer Patrick Ettenese, who attended the vigil last night. Patrick, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Sadly, under these circumstances, obviously, but some really, really powerful scenes there, to be fair. And I mean, it looked like a really, really amazing atmosphere. What exactly was that like? Can you describe it to us last night?
It was intense. I have held closing ceremonies for World AIDS Day. I've been part of that for 7 years because I'm positive myself. I've done the transgender visuals that they have for themselves, held once a year, and this was the biggest turnout ever.
Wow.
I've been to, and I did a lot of tweeting yesterday, and it was emotional.
Yeah.
I'm not from this country. I'm from Barbados. We don't have gay rights or anything like that. So when I came here, I made a part of being part of the community, but to see everyone get together so quickly was emotional.
Well, that was something I wanted to ask you actually. I mean, they really, really pulled it together so on a very, very short sort of notice. How was that? Was that just the strength of feeling and the want to support
social media.
each other?
Yeah, social media. Literally, here's a part of this. The people don't realize that social media can be one of the biggest and best outlets for helping people. Honestly,
and to get a message spread and in a short space of time as well, isn't it?
And it just happened so quickly. 13 years ago when I entered the UK, I didn't know what it was to be a part of a family. And everyone helped me. If I was sad or upset, someone would say, "Oh, Patrick, I know you. You come over to my place, you relax." And we fought. I was part of the gay parades before a lot of legalizations came through, before we had rights. And that was amazing. And to see this happen abroad and to be part of it again was, I was quite proud of myself for even turning up.
What's the feel? I mean, it must be very, very hard to sort of absorb a story like this. I mean, I know we've spoken, we have lots of people from the LGBT community on the show, but what is it like in sort of these times when so much has been achieved recently? You know, like you said, you're an activist, you're part of so many positive groups, same-sex marriage, all this kind of thing. But to see horrific hate crime like this is much more, it's disheartening, it's disillusioning. How does it affect you?
I've not been part of it a lot, because I mean, I knew about the nail bombs that happened many years ago. That wasn't...
Soho attacks.
Soho attacks, exactly. And I've not really been there.
You haven't experienced it?
No, I haven't experienced it.
Right.
So this is something that for the first time, I've really experienced, and it's widespread because of social media. We didn't have a lot of that back in the days. And so to come together now and actually notice it is like, wow, it really does affect all of us, because we get frightened, because if it started over there, what happens if it started over here?
And for those same reasons, and you know, kind of what you've mentioned yourself just previously about being, you know, kind of part of a family, the LGBT community, how important do you think it was for individuals and groups to turn out yesterday? Not just in Manchester, obviously, because, you know, we saw fantastic scenes in London and all around the world as well. How important do you think it would be to individual members of the community?
Massively. But here's the part: we didn't know how quickly we would get together.
Right.
So this was individually. The fact that each and every single person took the time out of their day to turn up was on their own. So that's like a congratulations for each and every single person, because it shows the support that we have for all of us. You know, of course, it's important for all the communities to get together, but the fact that they actually did it in the space of a few hours or in a day was massive. Yeah,
it's a fantastic achievement, and obviously the message that it sends of support for those.
Because we didn't have time to send off a lot of things, and the fact that Soho did it, Manchester did it, everywhere else did it. It was just like, you've really felt powerful.
Right.
Yeah, you really felt as our community.
And it does send a very strong message, doesn't it, to the rest of the world, to other communities, that you did kind of band together, and it's fantastic from that point of view. And everybody else did as well, of course. It wasn't just members of the LGBT community who were there yesterday, sure it wasn't.
And it shows a good message for the younger generation who are coming out, that no matter what, we still are a family. Even though we subdivide, sometimes we have fights within our own community. Yeah, we're still there.
Now, yesterday there were lots of there were talks and presentations from various activists, and we saw the mayor, the first opening gay mayor that we've had. What's kind of the one important message do you think that someone would have taken away from yesterday's vigil?
We are a family, and no matter what it is, if you upset us gays, that we'll still fight.
Lovely.
Yeah.
What about the reporting in general, Patrick? Because we were talking about this beforehand, weren't we? And there's been kind of mixed reaction to the general reporting in the media, and one of the probably most controversial was Sky News. And
it angered us tremendously.
You're angered. So
I got angry, but a lot of everybody else.
Fill the people at home. Owen Jones, the columnist, he's obviously an openly gay man as well. He walked off a debate about the subject, feeling that it was biased and that the homophobic elements of the attack were diminished. You've watched this clip, haven't you? How do you feel about it?
I have never felt so angry before.
Seething.
Yeah, no, everyone, my friend literally just got out of the car and just slammed the door and just went, I cannot believe it. I can't believe it. And I think that after watching the Sky News, that is what literally I think triggered the rest of us to go outside and go,
to take to the streets in a way.
Literally take the streets, because we were going, wait a minute, you're actually using this for political angle. This was actually an attack on us.
And do you feel that Owen Jones was right to walk off?
I don't know how he stood there even longer.
Really?
I would have personally just gone, you know what, I need to get off.
It was difficult, wasn't it? I mean, I think it was very clear to see that the guy was very, very emotional walking into the interview, I think, wasn't it?
Wouldn't?
So, I think anybody would.
He was even consoled, you know. It's like, oh my gosh, how do you feel part of a community that, you know, we have been through a lot, and a lot of us are still going through that. No, it was all about, oh, look what happened in America, political angle, da, da, da.
Is that your feeling on it then? Do you think
it was? Oh my gosh, come on, look what happens. Things are going on in the States at the present moment. It is a lot of it will be used for political angles for themselves. I'm sorry, I keep mentioning that same word, but it is the best sort of story to help their agendas.
And I do agree. There certainly were elements of the reporting, I think, that almost when they were trying to figure out what had happened, there was almost elements of, was it a terrorist attack or was it just a
you go into
attack,
our community. It's like you go into the village.
Yeah.
You walk into a gay bar and you shoot a load of people. It's not like you walk down to Piccadilly Gardens. You know,
very specific.
It is
very
exactly.
targeted.
It's a targeted attack against us.
What would you kind of expect from the news, that presenter and the...
I'm sorry. Are you okay? How does your community feel?
From this point on, would you expect an apology?
There was not. Yeah, exactly. There was not even. Are you all right? How do you feel as a gay guy? Do you feel safe? There was none of those sort of questions towards it.
Right.
Because the rest of us were mortified.
And if they are the questions you want to be asked, though, Patrick.
Yeah, exactly. Because if it was a terrorist attack, we would think, oh my God, is a terrorist attack against us as a community? Do we need to start worrying about ourselves when we go into bars? And that frightens people.
And do you feel that you do? Do you feel like you do have to worry about yourself? Would you feel that here?
But we always do. I mean, look, I've fought my entire life to be who I am today. So I mean, I feel sorry for whoever does. But for us as a community, we will fight. And yesterday, after I think Sky News just did the worst thing on earth for themselves, because which was a good thing for us, was actually band us together and go, yeah, do you know what? We need to go out there and actually show them that we will not be made afraid of.
And it was quite unusual reporting, wasn't it? I mean, obviously the format, generally speaking,
I was mortified.
A moderator should be the presenter, should be impartial, whatever, and then maybe something left, something right.
Maybe she had something slipped into her coffee.
But just a final word on it, Patrick. Going forward, let's leave it on a positive note.
Yeah.
What would yours be?
What
would your final word on the entire sad event be?
I'm proud to be gay.
You're still proud, and this is not going to affect you going forward.
Yeah.
Patrick, thanks so much for coming in today, because I know you're still feeling emotional about it yourself, and you've been very involved. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We're going to go for another quick break. When we come back, Richard and Penny will be back with us, but there's something to say. Don't go away.